Good evening, folks. This is Bill Breeden. Welcome to Constellation Tour number 76. Tonight we're going to go over the constellation Antlia, the air pump, a very obscure constellation in the southern celestial hemisphere, but it is visible from the southern regions of the northern hemisphere. So we have our constellation tour here location set up for Miami in Stellarium with a true field of view of 60 degrees, simulating the naked eye view of the sky from a suburban location. Now, we thought Vela was hard to find. Antlia might be one of the trickiest constellations to locate in the sky, because the stars are very faint and there are no real bright constellations surrounding it. So this one will be a challenge. The best bet I can give you is to get a really good star chart and go outside during the year when during the time of year when Antlia is visible, and just try to plot it. Just look up and use your star chart to navigate and find Antlia that way, but I'll help you as much as I can here. Antlia is best viewed between March and May. So we have Stellarium set up for April the 4th, 2021 at about 8:50 p.m. and we're looking south. So where is Antlia the air pump? Well, the description of its location is between Hydra and Vela, just north of Centaurus. So not very helpful. Hydra is faint and so is Vela. So let's start by trying to find Hydra. The way I find Hydra is I find Corvus the Crow, because Corvus does stand out. So let's look over here a little bit to the east, because in April, Corvus would just be rising. So here are the four stars here of Corvus the Crow, just rising over here in the southeast. And if you remember, Corvus sits on the back of Hydra, the water snake. And that's all these stars here, sort of in a zigzag pattern. Okay, so according to our description here, Antlia is located between Hydra and Vela. So Vela is going to be difficult to see from even the southern areas of the northern hemisphere. So let's see if we can figure this out. This here is the false cross. So these two stars here are part of Vela the sail, along with this reddish star here. We learned that in our last tour, except we could see all of Vela from Mexico City. So tonight we're in Miami. So a lot of Vela is below the horizon. So with this being the area of Vela, and this being the region of Hydra, Antlia is between the two. So it's in this empty area of the sky here. But that's a lot of sky. I mean, is it up here? Is it down here? Well, since Vela's here, I'm gonna take a guess that Antlia is somewhere around in here. Like I said, this was not going to be an easy one. This is an obscure constellation with faint stars between obscure constellations. So let's turn on our constellation lines and get an idea of why it's so hard to find. Okay, here's Vela, the sail, just part of the great ship Argo Navis. Here's Puppis the stern, and here's part of Carina the keel. So, and just between Vela and Hydra here's Hydra the water snake, all of this. Just between those two lies this obscure constellation, Antlia the air pump. If you can see Canopus, this bright star here, from your location, I guess you could draw a line between Canopus and Corvus, and the area halfway between and the empty area of the sky would be Antlia, maybe. Maybe that'd be a good way to find it. If you can come up with any better ways, I would love for you to share them with me. This is not an easy one to find. So let's have a look at the constellation boundaries. And this area all inside this border here is Antlia, the air pump. And you can see from the suburbs here, there isn't one single bright star. I mean, there's really nothing there. So let's take a look at the mythical figures. And here you can see that the area of Antlia is basically the stand of the air pump here. It looks like a little crank here, a balloon. So a lot of constellations in the southern sky are named after inventions, 18th century inventions. And the air pump was one of them. And it was an important enough invention to be immortalized in the sky, which is pretty cool. Okay, so before we go any farther here, let's take a venture to a dark site. See if that makes Antlia any easier to pick out here. So here's Corvus the Crow, and here are the zigzaggy stars of Hydra the water snake. Here's the false cross here, part of which, along with this red star here, make up Vela the sail. So we go between the two, and Antlia is somewhere around in here. It's depicted with just these two stars and a line here. So I have one multiple star plotted here on my chart here to show you, and that's Zeta Antlia. I think that's how that's pronounced. It's either Antlia or Antlia. I think it's Antlia. Zeta Antlia. So let's go ahead and do a search for that. And this is a double star of 6th magnitude, located 372 light years from Earth. And here's a view of the region through a finder scope. And it looks like there's a really nice spiral galaxy over here. I wonder if that's within Antlia. I guess we'll check that out in a little bit here. So here's a double star. I'm not sure if they're counting this one here and this is the pair, or if this one splits again. Oh, it does. So Zeta Antlia, there's Zeta 1. And let's see, this one's Zeta 2. So it looks like these two here could both considered Zeta Antlia. So this is the double star here. But Zeta 1 splits again with a separation of 8 arc seconds. So this would be a really nice one to view. Let's take a look at Zeta 2. I don't know if that one probably doesn't split again. Nope. We got a satellite going through. So this is an interesting part of the sky here. You've got Zeta Antlia, which is basically splits in your finder or in your binoculars. And then the right side component here, Zeta 1, splits again. So this would be a multiple star system. Very nice. So while we're in the region here, let's swing our telescope over here and put this galaxy in our telrad. Let's see, we can't get Stellarium to show me what it is. Click on it and you just get a star that's inside it. That's frustrating. Okay, so we got to trick Stellarium into showing us what that is. So let's go to our sky viewing window, move it out of the way, go to deep sky objects and turn on our labels. There we go. Okay, now we've got some stuff to look at here. NGC 2997. In the constellation Antlia, this is a magnitude 9.4 galaxy located 45 million light years from Earth. A lot of satellites in this region. So through a 24mm panoptic eyepiece, NGC 2997 reveals a beautiful grand design spiral galaxy. That was worth taking a stop to look at. Antlia may be obscure, but it's got a lot of galaxies. Here's another NGC here just above it, within the constellation Antlia. This is NGC 3001, located 181 million light years from Earth. And this one is not, there's no image of it in Stellarium. We just have an icon here for its location. It's a 12th magnitude galaxy, so that one would be a little bit of a challenge. So now we're using Stellarium more as a star chart at this point. I'm going to zoom out a little bit and show our boundaries. So now we can sort of explore the constellation of Antlia, and you can do this too. I mean, if you've got a non-computerized telescope, you can always use a star chart along with it. And star hopping in this region would be a challenge. So here's NGC 3223, an 11th magnitude galaxy located 146 million light years away. Again, this one's not, there's no image of it, but it is plotted with an icon in Stellarium. Okay, so let's go over where we are in the sky again. A little bit of a challenge here. Let's turn off our star chart here. And let's turn off all our hints here. Okay, let's try to find Antlia again, shall we? I'm going to start with Corvus the Crow. And I'm going to look for the squiggly line of Hydra the water snake. And I'm going to look for the false cross here, pointing me in the direction of Vela. So this area between Vela and Hydra is the realm of Antlia. So it's right here. Okay, well, this concludes this rather challenging review of Antlia the air pump. Thank you for joining me tonight. Good night and good seeing.